she could just call the State Department, they'll direct her. And she did this time and time again to no answer. Or she would text them, just to give you an idea. And I told Ronnie, I said, look, I'm going to go over there. I said, and I won't come back until I get them. And that's one of the things that he's said multiple times. And we were attempted to be thwarted in our efforts by the Biden administration multiple times. I mean, even Adam scrambling F-16 to do a flyover trying to intimidate us, even though we had approved landing permits on a PBR. We're in an American aircraft with American forces and operations guys to save Americans. It's our own government who's trying to put us at risk. But, after 11 days, we ended up conducting this successful overland rescue, which is the first of its kind. 2.5 weeks later, after Miriam and her children are already in Amarillo, Texas, they're already back in school. She started receiving text messages from the State Department saying, hey, we're just reaching out to you to see if you're okay and find out where you're at in Afghanistan.
You can share your top songs 2023 playlist so you can find out. Click or tap the banner to listen to your top songs 2023 and enjoy an enhanced sharing experience brought to you by Samsung Galaxy.
By Anthony Blinken, the open borders under Mayorkas, the weaponization under Garland and Reagan. All of these people need to be held accountable.
If you're new to Premium, treat yourself to 3 months for free now. Then it's just $10.99.
Who, by the way, is the first person. Which was right after
that's 5 fucking ads. Fuck you.
And the other 2 who were convicted felons. And now you got a guy who, and this is why I voted against this expulsion, is that who are we to play judge, juror, and executioner, first off? Who are we to not allow him due process to be able to approach his accusers in his day of court in front of a jury of his peers? Because what this does, in my opinion, is that I think that he has every right to a potential appeal now, because I think that we have in some way could have potentially influenced or started to lead the witnesses and the jury in some way just by our actions in Congress. Because now what we're saying is in America, you are actually guilty until proven innocent, not innocent until proven guilty.
It's going to prejudice any jury pool because this is
now, do I go for the hammer
Can Congress just expel anybody at any time if they vote on it?
Technically they can.
Okay, so it was everything that
There's the
happened
hammer.
on board, but it just like...
Yeah, but it's not getting
And it's a weird precedent
I'll
to
give the
set,
hammer a
right?
try.
I mean, we just decided that we don't want you here anymore.
Yeah,
There's not an actual crime.
You should have to run them through the Senate, or at least by the American people.
Well, and let me be clear, I'm not trying to defend anything.
Alright, that's good fucking pump.
But what I am defending is the rights to due process for every single American. I mean, what kind of precedence does this
No.
It was basically the House.
We have to be thinking about.
The House Ethics Committee report and decision was enough for everyone to say, okay, that's good.
Well, it wasn't everyone.
Not everyone, but
Right.
for enough people to say, okay, we should expel him.
Unfortunately, but you also had people like a lot of the New Yorkers who were in difficult positions because since he's also from New York, they felt that they had to take action because they were hearing a lot from their constituents. But also, here's my other thing: who are we in Congress to basically make a decision to expel someone who was elected by 750,000 people in their district?
Yeah.
We should allow the constituents to be able to do their jobs and to be able to go ahead and carry out their civic duties. And again, this for me is more about protecting your Sixth Amendment, more about protecting the rule of law, and due process, but also protecting the vote of constituents so that they can actually have the rights to elect or not elect whomever they choose.
Yeah, it sounds like it's become a little... too much of a social on people that think they're elite. They can still kick each other out, but I do think that it's like, you don't like my guy? Well, he's my guy.
Well, think about it. Jamal Bowman admits to doing something wrong while a member of Congress.
Committing a crime.
And Gavin is charged for that. He gets censured. A guy who does something which was previous, in most cases, of what his indictments for the grand jury is being accused of, in my understanding, is prior to coming in and has not yet been prosecuted for it, but he gets expelled. Is it just legit?
We have Bowman on camera. If they were going to expel someone before a conviction, Bowman I would understand as being reasonable because he's on camera.
I don't even justify that, whether it's on camera or not. We should allow the due process to be there. We can't say that we, again, are being judged during execution based on our observance. You are not guilty by the observations in which you make. You're guilty by the rendered verdict by either the judgment of a judge, who we appoint for solid reasons, or the jury, which actually finds their peer guilty. I mean, we just have to understand we're a nation which is based on the rule of law. We're a constitutional republic, and we have to not continue to water that down and dilute it just because it's beneficial for us.
You brought up the impeachment of Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, and he was basically largely responsible for the surrender of the American military, him and Abraham Lincoln, the Secretary of State. So what would an impeachment look like? What would be the charges, and how would that play out?
My charge on him was the dereliction of duty. I mean, the simple fact that he has a role to play and a job to do. You had soldiers who were deployed who had no rules of engagement, no understanding of what their authorization of force was. I mean, there's people who could have actually been, and in one case, a guy named Tyler Vargas, Andrews, I believe is his name, or Tyler Andrew Vargas, always mess this up. But he was badly injured and is an amputee as a result of the explosion. He was the sniper who was in the tower who actually had identified the potential suicide bomber, had called back when he appeared to be the identified Bolo, which is the dude on the lookout, had him
thank God.
was asking for a
So
green
scared
light
at
to
the
be
end
able
there,
to
fuck.
engage, and never received a green light from any of his command because they didn't know who actually had the authority to give that. Moments later, the explosion goes off. 13 brave members have lost their lives. These are things where you should have an escalation of force and a rules of engagement that's established.
Ah,
To them even being
fuck.
deployed, you should have an understanding of what was going
It's
on.
literally a
And
player
so
killing
this
round.
was completely just botched from the
Let's
very
go, but I
beginning.
don't get what
And the
the
fact that
pink
there's
head
no one
band.
who's been held accountable.
Because I hugged him
When I
at the
think
end
about
of the
accountability, I think about it as you
fucking
lead by example.
fruit
And
treadmill.
so, it's, for me, I used to call it the concept of windows and mirrors. When something is being done properly, and everything is going successfully, you look through the window at all those outside who are actually delivering on that. But when something goes wrong as a leader, you have to look in the mirror because ultimately it's on you.
This seems like a pattern, though. I mean, there are several Republicans, like Andy Biggs or is it Biggs or Briggs from Arizona? He brought dereliction of duty impeachment charges against Mayorkas
Absolutely.
for the border because the border's a mess. But it
I don't
seems
think
like
anyone can argue that's not
no,
his
Mayorkas should definitely be impeached, but we haven't gotten it yet. I mean, there are lots of members of the invited ministry who I would believe are derelict in duty, but they are still in office. At what point do we get some action? I mean, it
Well,
must
I
be
mean,
difficult.
look, this is what frustrates me, and obviously, you know, the one thing that I agree with is that we, in the 118th Congress, brought back through our conference rules the regular order, which means that everything has to go through its committee of jurisdiction, and then come out of that, and then come to the House floor. But I mean, look, if we can't even at least start the impeachment process, why can't we utilize things like the Homan Act, where we basically take the salary of those individuals and we drop it down to $1 a year? You know, these people shouldn't be getting paid when they actually aren't doing the job that they were actually put in place to do. And so until they can actually have an impeachment inquiry and then trial and have the depositions in place at a minimum, just like if a person in a regular, you know, think about this from the regular world. If you do something wrong in a job and they're investigating what you did wrong, in many cases you get an you basically get leave, you know, from the job for a certain period of time because you're not being paid during that time. You haven't lost your job. You can also go to jail before you've been convicted. That's exactly right. See, my whole point is that at least with the Homan rule, we could at least drop his salary down to $1 and continue to investigate. You know,
Proposals
So
for
we could
Chris Napier, right?
We could suspend Bowman pending conviction.
I've gotten good at that mode. Holy shit.
With endorsing the fire alarm.
Here we go.
What's the hope?
Will they? They won't. That's the problem.
I mean, look, you got someone on camera committing a crime. I think it's a good point. He should be convicted. But at the same time,
No!
there's
It's
every
fuck mountain. It's my best chance.
Okay, someone's been accused of.
Here we go. Oh shit. It goes down. Let's go. Ah shit, pink headband. Good luck, buddy. Yep. Get up. Sandwich. Well, I tried, boys.
Crime is a preponderance of evidence that they may be
Sometimes there's just no way back up.
If they're found to be not guilty, we release them. And we're supposed to have hearings for this. If there is someone who there's no preponderance of evidence he's been accused, well then you don't even get an indictment. But if you do, then the person is going to be free on bail.
That's right.
So, considering Santos, he's been accused. They say there's evidence. Okay, we're going to have to prove that. For Bowman, he lied about what he did. The camera proves he lied, and he committed a crime.
Oh, that was
I would-
still
I
a
would
good
think- I would
showing,
say
so I'll
it's fair
save
to
it.
Suspend him pending a resolution.
Is this the Homan rule? So how do you enact the Homan rule?